Okay, y'all. Sunday morning, man. Damn, Ray, you work every single day, man. Well, I would if I could, but I don't work long hours, so I make up for it in, I will work longer hours, but usually I usually I knock off around 2 o'clock, give or take. Sometimes I'll be out a little bit later, it's just according to what's going on. I do whatever I need to do. But I've done things in a way over the years to where and refined the efficiency and everything to where I can get done around 2. Uh, that's my goal anyway. Now you don't always meet that, but yeah. So, but I don't mind. Like today's Sunday, it rained last night, so I get up this morning and get in the hot tub and then it's kind of cold and ugly out here. What do I do? Take a day off. What does that mean? I mean, what is that? See, I don't even know how to, you know, take a day off. I mean, taking a day off, we'll go do something fun. Like what? It's ugly out. Cold. The reason I started this business, the reason I, built this building, the reason I, got me a hot tub is I like to make my world, right, as comfortable as I possibly can. And having the building at my house, it has its benefits and it has its drawbacks. But the benefits at this point in time in my life far exceeds the downside. I can't think of a downside really to having the building at my house. But at the end of the day, every day I try to do something positive for the business. And it's not, well, you don't ever rest, but I do. I may only work, out here in the field 7 or so hours a day. And now sometimes that gets tweaked. Like I said, I might have to fix something or whatever. But like yesterday, I didn't work. I couldn't. It's rained, so I was off all day yesterday. So I took care of a lot of little things. I got that mower fixed. Well, that's work right there, Ray. Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess some people consider that work. But to me, doing things like doing things around the house, that's something that I got to do anyway. I got that facial back up in where the hot tub is. And I'll get some video. I know I haven't done any video of the hot tub because usually when I get in the hot tub, it's dark and the cameras don't do good at dark. And in the morning, it's too early. It's dark in the morning too. And of course, we got lights out there. I could turn it on and I could do a big production out there if I wanted to. So first, the biggest thing I'm waiting on right now is them to come put that cover thing on, so I can build in the wall and buy a TV and all that, and some surround sound and blah, blah. So, yeah. What I was saying is I have made, over the course of me living here, I have made my house and my surroundings as comfortable a place that I could be. There is no more comfortable place than my house or my building shop. That's where I'm at my most comfort. Starting out that I would stay gone, but a lot of that time, because I didn't know what I didn't know, and it was spinning my wheels, right? Because I didn't know what to do or to facilitate making a living. I had no idea, and I would waste a lot of time. And looking back, I don't waste that kind of time on. I would still waste time, of course, we all do, but I check myself, a lot. Well, I know what I got something to compare it to, right? A lot of people say, well, man, you ain't working long enough. But see, when you get a lot of experience in the game, It ain't that I ain't working enough or working long enough. It's the time that I am working, I'm super efficient. I can go out now these days, if whether it's doing lawns or skid or whatever, I can go out now and solo, and in 4 or 5 hours, I can do more work than what I used to do when I started with 2 guys with me for the same amount of time, because I've refined things and I have gotten rid of the customers that cost me a lot of issues and headache. And of course, over time too, one of the biggest thing is my density is getting super. I mean, I used to do 1 property in my neighborhood or 2. Now I do about 15. So that's yeah. And so while other guys are wasting time, which is a necessary thing, they're wasting time chasing down work. They're wasting time driving here to there and there to here. And they're wasting time not being able to fix their equipment. They're wasting money waiting on this and waiting on that and blah, 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 blah. See, all of that, after you got about, sometimes this happens faster for some people, but once you get about 4 or 5 years in, then a lot of that time wasting, you don't do it anymore. You just don't, because you understood that looking at your format, that's all a big waste of time. A big one is the ability to fix your equipment. That's a big waste of time if you have to take it to the shop and you can actually fix it. Like, there's a lot of things that I do that some people don't do that are in business. And, like I changed the oil in my truck. I would venture to say that not everybody, but most guys that are, under 500,000 a year in my spot probably do a lot of their maintenance themselves. Now, some people, when you got warranty stuff, that's different. Like I changed the oil in my trucks, and I do all of that kind of thing. Not because it costs a lot to take it somewhere, but because they're the people that are doing the work on the equipment, on mowers, chainsaws, trucks. I mean, 9 times out of 10, y'all, no lie. I mean, it's brutal. 9 times out of 10, I got to take it back to them. And then once you spend money like that, you have to take it back to them, because you done spent money for the service and they didn't complete it or they didn't do it right or whatever. Now you're in their vicious world, in their vicious cycle where they don't value your time. See, I value my time. And that is, as you get older in life and in business, that becomes the most important thing out there, is my time and how I spend it. Do I spend, like right now, I'm doing a video. Well, this is how I want to spend my time right now. So, getting my brain ready for whatever comes up today. And people that are running around, doing quotes on jobs that they really don't even, I saw a video where a guy is trying to do a quote on a job, and, all that marketing and stuff got him this job. And, because he talks about marketing a lot, all that marketing gets him to work, and then only to find out he really can't even do the work because he hasn't built up step by step. He doesn't even, not only does he not have the equipment, but he doesn't have the know-how either to be efficient at it. Now, anybody can, grab a shovel and dig and, and scoop out anybody can do that. But can they make money at it? You have to learn to make money at it. And also it goes back to, all these marketing gurus on YouTube that is all they talk about is marketing. Well, what happens when you get to work and you don't have the know-how or the equipment to do the job? And you don't even know how to quote it, really, because you don't know what it takes to do that job. Well, really, that's how they learn. That's right. And I can learn that without having to spend a bunch of money on marketing. I can learn that kind of thing freestyling. I mean, I don't have to spend, $1,000 on marketing only to get jobs that I can't even do. I don't even know how to quote, that I don't have the equipment for. And then so all the time wasted on doing on that, and I'm not even in the ballpark realm. I don't even have, it's sort of like taking on a mulching job and not having a mulcher or whatever. I mean, some basic equipment that is universal, and I know everybody doesn't have this and all that, but to me, the universal equipment that you need in a lawn care business, and to be able to step out a little bit outside of the lawn maintenance, just a little bit, is obviously you need a truck, obviously you need a trailer, and obviously you need lawnmowers and customers, weed eaters and blowers, right? But those things are pretty common, right? But some equipment that you need that is paramount to being able to do lucrative things outside of lawn maintenance, because everybody knows that lawn maintenance, lawn care business is not a year-round thing. So I see guys, marketing for stump grinding work, for grading, for tree trimming, tree removal, and all that, and they only have the basic equipment of a lawn maintenance business. Well, really, they just go rent the equipment. And there we go, back to that time thing I was just talking about, right? Because renting equipment, for one day jobs is unpredictable. And I wouldn't be Ray and doing my due diligence if I didn't tell you that. Now, if you got a big project where, you're doing it for, somebody and they're willing to take on the rental of whatever, then okay. But just out the gate doing one day jobs, having to rent equipment like skids and stuff, there ain't a lot of money in it. I mean, of course, the people that do a lot of renting, they're going to tell you, yeah, there is good money in it. But there's more money in it if you don't, right? If you just take on jobs that you can actually do with the equipment that you have. And we know a lawnmower will cut grass, but I make my lawnmowers do a lot more than that. I mean, that's a given, they'll cut grass. Just like a weed eater, it's a given that a weed eater will weed eat weeds, right? But I'll put a saw blade on a weed eater and knock down brush. So the tools that you buy, for your lawn landscape, for your lawn maintenance business, in order for you to be able to do jobs that are outside of that, you got to think outside the box just a little bit. One of the bare basic tools that I think every lawn maintenance guy should have, if he is serious about being in this business and he's just doing lawn maintenance, is and have the ability to do small other projects and make top dollar at it, is a dump trailer. A dump trailer is universal, because a dump trailer has so many uses. And if I were, starting out a lawn maintenance business, and I did not have a trailer, but I had a little bit of money and I wanted to buy a trailer, or I had good credit and I wanted to buy a trailer or whatever, and I'm trying to, keep my footprint low and keep my expenses down and be able to do the most work with the equipment that I'm spending my money on, because money in the beginning is usually pretty tight. I would recommend to people, as long as they got the truck, they need a 250, If I don't have a lawn trailer and I want to get into the lawn maintenance business and I don't have a lawn trailer and I'm dead serious about it, I'm borrowing in father-in-law's trailer or uncle's trailer or whatever to make money on the weekends, but I'm dead serious about getting into this game, then the first trailer I would have bought is a freaking dump trailer. And I would load my lawnmowers on that dump trailer. True enough, a dump trailer is not, sometimes maybe not the best tool to put your lawnmowers and stuff on. But in the beginning, having that dump trailer with a ramp, you're a lot more universal. And then now you can take on jobs that guys that just have a regular lawn trailer can't do. I bought my dump. I had and I still got it. Y'all see the small trailer that I use. That's a 6x10 trailer, and small trailer. But it's a good starter rig, and it's a good, rig for the truck to pull around because you can put a lawnmower on it. It's got the racks on it, blah, blah, right? But after that trailer, the dump trailer was next. Before any of this other stuff that you guys see me have, the dump trailer was the second big purchase I bought. And I, not thinking, not knowing, and that's why I'm raised here to tell you younger guys that are starting out, I did not buy the dump trailer for the lawn maintenance business. I didn't know what I didn't know. There was no Ray on YouTube. I bought the dump trailer to do firewood. And then I said, oh, I can do this with it. Oh, damn, I can haul mulch with it. Oh, damn, I can haul dirt, rock, and I can even do, demo work, haul stuff to the dump and all that. But I wasn't getting a lot of jobs where I didn't know how valuable and rounded a dump trailer really is. It doesn't have to be a $15,000 one. It doesn't have to be a freaking, a new one or a great big one, or it's just got to have a hydraulic dump on it. And even a 10-foot dump trailer is gold. So the notion that you can do all these jobs that you're marketing for, you're going out and spending time, energy, and effort quoting, and then only to realize, man, I'm going to have to charge for that. I'm going to have to charge for that. And then the homeowner is going to look at that and say, damn, this guy over here, he just happened to invest in his business and has a dump trailer. He's going to do it for $1,500 cheaper. Well, I mean, you might not get the job. So then there you go, back to your little lawn trailer and mowing grass, and you missed out on a job because your numbers got to be so high. You haven't created enough options. And me and Chad and Irv and all of us guys that do this for a living, Eddie, even Randall, I ain't seen him in a minute, but we all do this for a living, but we all understand that you got to build up to do more lucrative work. And you don't just all of a sudden wake up one day and say, okay, well, I'm going to go do, a $10,000 landscape job with no equipment and no know-how. Not only do you not have the equipment, but you don't have the know-how. Well, the equipment will bring you the know-how. It will. Because to go do a job like some of the guys I've seen on YouTube, to go do a job where they're having to heave and hoe and they don't have a dump trailer, they don't have any kind of equipment, that's not the reality. I mean, because in today's day and age with the Chinese equipment available and all that, I mean, you can get a freaking stand-on skid for less than $5,000. Yeah. And be able to make your money back. I know that's a foreign concept to some of these guys. They tell me I'm all wrong. It doesn't work like that, and and all that, and it works just like that. If every piece of equipment you buy, you get your money back on that equipment in a few months, that's a great investment, because anything after the few months, you're in the profit mode, and ain't nobody giving you equipment for free. So whether you buy whatever. But the bare minimum to do jobs like what Dude was wanting to quote would be a dump trailer. But the bare minimum to have a dump trailer, you got to have a truck that'll haul it full. You probably get away with an F-150 and pull a dump trailer around, especially the newer ones, but I don't know. I haven't had an F-150. Well, I got rid of Red Ruby, which was the beginning. And y'all seen, I got video of Red Ruby, which was a F-150, 1995 F-150 with the inline 6-cylinder. I think it was a 5-speed or 4-speed. I can't remember. Stick. Yeah. Here I am having to haul a lawn trailer. And this is where I come from, having to haul a lawn trailer around with a stick. Oh my God. I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't buy that truck to do a lawn maintenance business. I bought that truck to get me to and from work because it was all I could afford. I think I spent $1,500 on it back in, 2003 or whatever. So the notion that you don't have to, that you can just use your existing truck to do lawn maintenance, that's true. But you're not going to step up. I wasn't going to step up with that truck. I was going to have to buy a baseline truck, but you got to look at everything from the point of view of, okay, from the commitment point, right? Are you committed? Is this what you're going to be doing for the foreseeable future? You got to ask yourself that, because that determines and dictates everything from that point on. Once I realized that, okay, this is what you're going to do for a living, Ray, for the foreseeable future. And once that clicked in my head and I knew that, then it was like, okay, everything else became logical. The next logical move. Of course, I had to buy an F-250. Hell, I'm hauling trailers around every day, and I got a dump trailer. So, now I didn't have no nice. I was a 2000, I don't know, 2006 F-250 with the 5.4 liter gas engine. I mean, that was it. I didn't have to have no big diesel and all that. Well, Ray, if you had got a diesel, you'd have stepped up faster. But you wouldn't have. You would have spent more money, so it may have slowed you down. The number one thing you got to have out here, to me, is you got to have the commitment and the tenacity to keep it forward, to keep it moving, and to take your lumps and keep it moving. But what's the point in having YouTube as a resource and then not listening to anything anybody says that's actually doing it, that's actually showing you? And I'm not talking about me, I'm just talking about in general. There's so many resources on the internet these days that a lot of things that are common sense now were not common sense before all that. So a guy starting a business now, he's got a huge advantage. He does, in a lot of different ways. Number one, and it always will be, is information. There was no Ray out there when I was starting, so I was having to take all the lumps that I try to educate you guys on, where you don't have to take the lumps, or if you do, you can see it coming. a mile away. That's why I do the channel. And I know one guy came in dude's comments saying, well, if you had a mini over there, then you just tear the ground all up. Well, I mean, so what you're saying is that he's forced to do it with manual labor. And I ain't biting on that. You have to learn how to do these jobs with the minimal labor as possible, so you can make more money. The more labor you put on a job, the less money you're probably going to make, and the harder you're going to have to work. I mean, it's freaking like durr. Now I can do the jobs faster and less on my body and back and labor, and make more money faster. And that in turn pays for whatever the equipment is. That savings of time, energy, and effort and labor. Whatever that gap is there, that pays for the equipment tenfold. Because you can take on more work. And you can learn. You got to learn how to do this, man. You know, before you start giving advice. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like to look stupid on YouTube. And I'm sure I have my moments, but I don't like to look like I don't like to give advice or how I did it or whatever on YouTube and it be coming from a place of inexperience, when you got all these guys that got experience that are telling you, you know, and it makes sense if you just pay attention, but they're so caught up in their own ego that they can't take it. Doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna put the content out no matter what, either way, because I'm gonna do me, and I'm gonna show you guys what I go through out here. But a fundamental thing in any business from the very beginning, in any lawn maintenance business, is the very first thing I buy after I got my lawn mowers and everything is I'm buying me a dump trailer. I'm gonna go and get that behind me. Yeah. And I've only had to buy one. Sometimes I wish I had bought a bigger one. I will say that. But that 6x12 is pretty handy. And then you can build the walls up, and you know, I mean, I have made so much money with my dump trailer, y'all, and not even have to. I've made money, you know, in the off season just delivering the mulch to a job and dumping it. I used to have Zach and them do all the labor. I would charge the guy, you know, I don't remember, $1,500 to do mulch. I would have, you know, $350 wrapped up in the mulch. Not even that much, really, because I'm getting mulch for, I mean, I can get red, brown, dark chocolate mulch for about $35 a yard. So I get 6 yards for $200. And then me being in control of the delivery of and the timing, well, then I take the mulch out there, drop the trailer, and let Zach and then work off of that all day long. Give Zach 200, give his other buddy 200, and I would have, you know, 200 wrapped up in mulch. I'm at $600, and I done made $1,500. So I done made $900, and I ain't had to touch the mulch. But if I don't have a dump trailer, that don't happen. The guys that are starting out, they don't know that. But that's why I'm here to tell you. But you got to have a truck that'll pull it. That's the number one thing. These guys that think they're gonna tackle the world and come out here and, you know, I hope they can. I hope they do. But they're going to have to get more than a Toyota Tundra to do it. You're going to have to get a damn big truck, a bigger truck. And we all have to do that, right? We all have to go through that. We all have to have to learn and step up, step up, step up. Some guys don't understand the concept of stepping up. They want to start from the top and work it. You can't do that, and it becomes very evident as you see some of these guys trying to do jobs, and then then they're realizing, oh shit, what Ray said was true. Oh no, I can't. Man, how am I going to charge that much? Or they have a blow up conception of what they're worth, and most of the time you're not worth that. You have to make yourself, you have to make yourself worth that by keeping your expenses down. And a dump trailer is one way to do that. And, you might not be charging more money, but you're saving boatload of time, energy, and effort. So, but anyway, enough on my soapbox. This will probably be a separate video than today's video. So, yeah.